Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video of the Planty Mandy. Alright, so today I'm gonna introduce you guys to a few of my favorite Hoyas that I grow in a trailing pattern instead of a trellising pattern. So you guys know what trellis is, right? Like, in case some of you guys are just new to Hoyas, may not familiar with trellis. Trellis mean that, will you some kind of stake or some kind of like trellis, like structure to assist our Hoyas to climb up. So I don't have a trellis Hoya right now, but as you can see, this is my elbow, syngonium elbow. So you can see like this structure here. Yeah, so this is what we consider as a trellis, just in case some of you guys may not be familiar what a trellis is. But yeah, so most of the Hoyas, I grow, I trellises, meaning that, I use like some plant clip and then I help it to like climb on the trellis. And the reason for that is because most of our Hoyas, most, not all, most of the Hoyas, they grow epiphytically. So meaning that they actually climb on trees and bark in the nature in order to get up, right? Because sun is up there. So that's where their food is. So they want to climb up. And that's why that's one of the reasons why we want to trellis our Hoyas, because it's going to help them to go up. So, regardless if there's like grow lights or your lateral lights, the plants, the Hoyas itself tend to get like a little bit larger leaves just because that's where the food is. They're getting closer to the food, and that's why we trellis our Hoyas. With that being said, right, I do find there's a few of my Hoyas actually grow pretty well, in terms of leaf size and, the quality of the foliage, or like the flowering frequency, even I leave them trailing. And, not to mention that they look pretty well, really good, when they trail as well. So today I'm gonna introduce you guys to, I think, 4 of those Hoyas. So let's get started. So the first one I want to introduce you guys to is my one of my absolute favorites. And I know I said it about all my Hoyas. But no, this guy, it's a very, very, very great grower. It's a very consistent grower. It's not growing super, super fast, but it's like, growing at a really, really like good speed. The foliage is like healthy. It doesn't require like too much maintenance or special environment, meaning that I'm not putting it in like high humidity or whatever, right? And this is my ta-da! My Hoya Sangii. So Hoya Sangii, there might be some confusion over it, because sometimes I saw on the internet some people confuse their either the botaniate, like some other plants as Hoya Sangii. But according to Paula from Gardino Nursery, this is the genuine, like the real Hoya Sangii. And I haven't flowered this yet, but it does have yellow flower, just in case you're curious. But yeah, look at this guy. It's just growing so beautifully, trailing. And you can see the foliage is like, I would say it's not really that succulent at all, because you can bend it, right? And you can see this is all like one branch. And it's just like have all this like branch all trailing. And then you can see the new leaves, it's growing out like right here. They're pretty cute. And one thing I want to point out though is, although I go in a trailing pattern, but you can see the plants, they're so smart. See, they are still like, this guy, because the grow light is up here, right? I have a grow light up here. So they're still like trying to go up, right? Because that's where the food is, and they're trying to get more food. So yeah, that's how smart plant is. Even if we go it trailing, like, it still go up. So I leave it like this. It's literally sit on my shelf like this and then grow like here. And then it just has been growing so well. It has been growing like leaf, like you can see right here. And then it also have, new leaves down here. So yeah, so I'm really, really happy with this guy. And not to mention that, I took a lot of cuttings from this plant, and they all propagate really, really easily. So yeah, so I really like it. And this is my first #1 favorite trailing Hoyas. Yay, Hoya Sangii. I know, I love it. Second one I want to introduce to you guys, it's like a really controversial Hoyas, by controversial, I mean like some people said it's extremely easy to care for, and some people say it's like, no, I can never keep this alive. And interestingly, it's actually not that uncommon. Like it's again, you know, uncommon is a really subjective term, right? Some people may find it very easy to, you know, find this Hoya and some not. But, you know, according to what I saw online, this Hoya is actually not too hard to find. In fact, you can find it in most, some of the, you know, home improvement store like Home Depot or Lowe's if you live in the United States. But yeah, but I found the most interesting thing about this Hoya is like some people would say, oh my God, it's so hard to care for, I always kill it. And some people said that, no, it's pretty easy to care for. And I'm the latter. Like, I found this Hoya super, super low maintenance. I literally do nothing to it except for watering it like maybe once a week. And it just has been exploded. It has been it actually has tripled its size since I got it. And this is, ta-da, this is my Hoya curtsii. So you can see like, you know, I feel like this plant, you know, even though it's like a little bit more common, I feel like it deserves more love because you look at the tiny leaf and it's like, look at the splash or like the pattern on it. It's just so cute, right? They look like tiny, tiny heart. And you can see, yeah, I just leave it trailing on a you know, macrame, right? And a terracotta pot. And then this guy just has been like growing non-stop. When I first got it, I got it from Steve Leaves like a while ago, I forgot when. It was just like just top, like they're all on the top, there's no trailing or no nothing. And then this guy has actually tripled its size since I got it. So some people said that, oh, it's so hard to care for, like, because every time I water it, I got yellow leaves, right? I feel like this plant, just don't overwater it. Like, this is my experience. Like, just leave it alone, like water it, you know, of course, according to your own lighting, you know, situation. But yeah, just, you know, wait till the soil kind of like almost completely dry out, not like completely dry out, right? If you use a moisture meter, which I do, I normally wait till the moisture meter hit like at least 2, right? Which is like, you know, pretty dry because 1 and 0 are like completely dry. Like 2 before I water it. So sometimes I water it once a week. Sometimes I water it like once every like 10 to 12 days. So, and it has been doing like, you know, really, really well for me. So yeah, I really like this one. I'm so sorry that like for some of you guys have like difficult experience growing this. And I always like got question people like, how do you grow your curtsii? I'm like, I don't know. It just grows. I feel like that is like not a very good answer, but that's what's, you know, happened to me. So the only suggestion I have for you is if you're having a hard time growing curtsii, just make sure you don't overwater it. So that's that. But yeah, it's a really, really beautiful trailing Hoyas. So same as the Sangia, you can see that even though I let it trail, because the grow light is on top, so it's still like kind of like sticking out its grow, trying to get closer to the lights. Yay. Okay, so the third one I want to show you is, I think I saw both. I think some people grow it like trellis it when they grow it. And some people let it trail, and I let it trail. And I got this plant from a plant swap or plant tray, right? That guy actually, you know, have to mail it to me, and then I mail something else back. And when I got it, I was like, wow, you sent me such a, you know, like a sizable plant. Because when you tray, you normally tray smaller plants, right? But, you know, she actually tray me like a good size plant. And this guy has changed its forms and shape a lot since I got it, and I believe it's because of the environment that I'm giving it in comparison to the old environment that it was in. And this is my, ta-da! This is a Hoya canosa crinkle egg. So it is a cultivar, meaning that human, you know, mess with the, I don't know, genes and then create, you know, a new plant, right? So this is Hoya canosa crinkle egg. So I want to show you. So, okay, when I first got it, you know, obviously like these are the older leaf. So it's kind of lighter in green, right? And you can see it just plain green, right? When I got it, I put it, I default, because it's more succulent. So I default to put it in like a higher light condition. For me, it's just a stronger grow light because I just never get enough natural light. And you can see the new leaves up top. Let me find a good example. Oh yeah, this branch is good. And you can see the new leaves start getting bigger and is in a much darker green. And then it's also develop some little speckles on it. So you can see that on the top as well. Yeah, so that's what I meant by like, when I grow it in a different environment, like the shapes and the forms of the leaves actually change. And I just really like it. And I know you guys are sick of me saying it, but I'm like a huge fan of dark succulent leaves. And this is one of them. So yeah, I know some people like to trellis it, but I found that grow really well just trailing, so that's fine. And again, same. I want to show you guys like again, plant it smart. Even though I let them trail, because my grow light is up top, and this guy just basically bend itself and trying to get up to the lights and produce more new grow. So yeah, I love this one. So yeah, if you have been growing it, using a trellis, I actually found that pretty interesting to and beautiful and architectural when you grow it trailing too. So yeah, I really, really, really like this Hoya canosa crinkle eggs. And yeah, I also want to mention that too. It's like, again, I know there's all this like, oh, this is just a common Hoya, or that it's like, oh, that it's a rare Hoya. I feel like the beauty of a plant, this is just my personal opinion, okay? I keep hitting my elbow. The leaf's gonna fall. It is my personal opinion, okay? I feel like the beauty of a plant, or Hoya, or whatever plant, right? It's in that plant itself, right? So even though it is like, I got this canosa crinkle egg, and there is another canosa crinkle as someone else have. I may like mine more, or I may like the other one more, just because of that particular plant has some kind of pull or attraction that really speak to me, right? So it doesn't matter if it's like rare or uncommon or common or I don't know, whatever people use the terms for. So yeah, so I really trying to like just enjoy the plant itself. And every time when I see new growth on the plants, I see like how the like leaf shape and the color like slowly changing, obviously in a healthy way. That's really like make me really happy. So yep, I know that's a side talk, but yeah, look at those dimples. Look at those dimples. Only if I have one. Last but not least, so this guy, okay, so the previous three, yes, I saw people grow it in both patterns, like trailing, let it trail, or actually use a trellis to like trellis it up. But this one, I would say most people would agree that it does grow nicer, or like looks better when you grow it in a trailing pattern. And I want to tell you, I also want to remind you how much hard work it took me to take it off the shelf and separate it with all the Selpegii, because I have a lot of Selpegii, either like the variegated string of heart or the silver gory, or just the regular Selpegii with that, or the orange river, because they are all together with this particular Hoya. How hard it is for me to like untangle them and show you guys, okay? So with that being said, okay, this is my Hoya linearis. So Hoya linearis, yeah, so Hoya linearis, obviously I'm growing it in like a trailing pattern, and this is actually one of the first uncommon Hoya I got in my collection when I first started to collect Hoyas. And at that time, like, I know it's pretty easy to get now, right, online or whatnot, but at that time I have to get it from England. So I did bought like the Hoya linearis from England, yeah, so you can see when I first got it, it was about this long. Yeah, something like that, maybe a foot. Yeah. And now it is, okay, hold up. Hold on, yo. I'm gonna slowly, so I'm standing all the way up and then I'm raising my arm. I can't even, here. So yeah, so it's still going. So I cannot get any higher. I'm only 5'3". I'm a tiny person. But yeah, so this is how much this guy has grown. I think it is probably like 4 feet now. 4 feet, 3.5, 4 feet now, the longest one. But yeah, so Hoya linearis, right? So Hoya linearis, it's in my opinion, it's pretty easy to care for too, and obviously it's looked really cute, like trailing. And I specifically get this long pot, right, with planning this plan in there in mind, because I wanted to drape like a curtain, which it is right now. So it is sit on a shelf right in front of my window, and it's like it just drape down, and then I have some Selpekii like up here, and then it's also draped down. So that's why the Selpekii, it's all tangled up with the linearis. So that's just that, right? So yeah, so not too hard to care for. I do hear some people say that linearis do like a little bit more moisture. I think that's a fair thing to say. Yeah, I think so. But for me, I just give it once a week, water and regular humidity. Like I don't have any extra humidity for this guy. But just look at the the growing structure and the morphology of the leaves, right? You can see like they're a little bit fuzzy, Hoya linearis. So I assume that yes, they do crave for that moisture or like the humidity in the air, because that's what the tiny hair for, right? Maybe like trying to capture some extra water in the air. So yeah, if you guys can give it a little bit more moisture, that's great. But I just keep it in my regular environment, which is about 50 to 60% humidity, because I live right by the beach, like literally 2 blocks away. I got lucky. And I just water it once a week and maybe fertilize it once every 2 to 3 weeks. And it just has been growing for me. Like I said, I can't even get all the way. Yeah. And so, but it hasn't flowered for me yet. So maybe I need to give it more light. So if you guys have flowered your linearis, let me know what you do. And again, plants are smart. I know you guys are sick of me saying that. So even though I'm growing in a trailing pattern, all the new growth, I would notice that it's trying to go upward, right? You can see this guy, look. I see it's trying to go like this, right? But eventually when more leaves grow out, it will like, weigh it down. But yeah, this is definitely a good trailing one to grow, which is my Hoya linearis. Yay! Great. All right, so that's all I have got for you today. We talked about 4 of my favorite, Hoyas that I grow in like a trailing pattern instead of a trellising, right? So we look at my Hoya sangii, which is like super easy to grow, and I love the leaves. It just reminds me of like bamboo, and I love bamboo. I don't know why. And the second one we have is like the more controversial one. Some people say it's like super easy. Some people say it's super hard, and I find it's pretty easy. And this is my Hoya Kurzii, who have really beautiful, beautiful splashy pattern. Yay. And the third one, it's also a somewhat easy to find one. But I find it really interesting just because of like how the leaves change shape and pattern and color when I give it, a different growing environment. So again, this is the, older leaves, and then the newer leaves. So yeah, I know some people grow it like, trellising it up, but I really like it trailing. So I'm just gonna let it trail. And last but not least, okay. One of my oldest Hoya, actually. The drape, fussy, pretty long Hoya linearis. Yay! Let me know what you think. Do you grow these Hoyas as well? Do you grow them like, you know, do you trellis them or do you let it trail? And if there's any other trailing Hoyas or Hoyas that you grow in a trailing pattern that you think it's really nice, let me know, because I always are up to discover more Hoyas, right? So yeah, so if you like this video, like usual, make sure you click like, and if you want more future video, make sure you click subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!